I can't believe it's the 4th of April already. Tigers, Signs and Times Reports by Toby Milwee, guys. I got to keep it down a little bit because I'm making a video to upload over to my sister's Facebook page for family that doesn't want to talk to me. I graduated high school with a 5th grade reading level. I learned how to read really well. And my grandmother, before she died, June 22nd of 2018, she says, Toby, do you ever read? And I says, I read all the time. I like studying the Illuminati and our cousins that ran the country when they stole the election from people, being cousins. Presidents all the way from George Washington to Obama. A 12-year-old little girl figured that out, that the country's fake. They stole the election. The car manufacturers are all the same ones that were there when they invented cars. There's no opportunity for American people there either. That's what I grew up doing, was working on engines. And it's April 4th, 24. It's Thursday morning. It's about 4:30. Yesterday, I called back to Tim Bowden, Arkansas, actually to Water Valley, Pocahontas, Arkansas. I've been leaving messages to try to get hold of my brother-in-law. My mom and dad divorced in California in 1976, and my mother ended up marrying a Hispanic fellow. And my dad was very racist, and he didn't really care about my mom, but my stepdad had 2 kids with my mom, and they'd argue and fight and stuff, And my stepdad was from Mexico, and he worked on the B-2 Spirit bomber landing gear. And the aircraft was brand new. Luis assembled the hydraulics. And I was just sitting there wondering why nobody's on the internet, my family-wise. There's my baby girl. And why is my sister's Facebook page up there? And see, they can't tear it down. So I'm going to upload this to Facebook. And I'd probably give my cousin Bill Ray a call at Water Valley Machine Shop in Pocahontas, Arkansas today. He's a good boy. And my grandmother used to always say that. I'd always seen Bill one time. If he'd stand next to me in the store, I wouldn't know what he looked like. And I know he's a good boy. And he's helped my brother-in-law a lot. So when the kids were teenagers, we lived in California. My grandmother lived in Arkansas. And, my stepdad and my mom would get into it, fighting and stuff. And my stepdad, he started to spill the beans. And I said, what the hell? And he goes, sitting around waiting for people to die. And my mom goes, if you say another word, I'll divorce you first thing Monday. And I was like, what's the kids? And I'm like, look, man, what in the hell's going on? And they said, we don't know what they're fighting about. I said, you y'all's liars, man. I said, it's something I did. They're like, no, it's nothing you did. You got your own trouble when you party. When I was young, I partied a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I told the kids, I said, don't you care? And so I'm going to find out what the hell they're arguing about, because I've been hearing this shit for 10 years, right? Well, in 2005, I was up in Nevada screwing around with slot machines and got in trouble for cashing a fake check. And I was on methamphetamine at the time. And I ended up getting on probation and stuff. And my stepdad came down with cancer. So my mom gets this cancer life insurance policy from Xerox and stuff. And at this point, I think of my mom, poisoned the man. So I was like concerned. She got a lot of money, man. She bought a brand new truck. They paid it off. They paid off her house in Rancho Cucamonga. She retired from Xerox as a human resources representative. She worked there 19 years. My stepdad, was 52 years old. Cancer dropped his ass, I was racist. I had my problems with him. I did. But when he saw I got a job and came to see me last time up in Carson City, Nevada, and I was working, he cried. And he says, you take care of your mother. And I said, shit. Good luck, My mom's a Taurus, it's very hard-headed, greedy, pill addict. Been popping pills for years, man. I'm surprised she could still alive. Always got a prescription, for that shit. And I like smoking weed, doing what I was doing, Nobody liked getting along. And my grandma was sitting on quite a bit of money. My grandfather, he served in World War II, putting islands in the Pacific to deliver the atomic bomb. So, and my other granddad was my dad's dad, Lee Milwee, was on the Midway. And he came home in 45 and 3 in San Diego. So I like my nationalism, you know what I mean? And I laugh at the money. So my sister had 2 kids back east. And, my brother-in-law, my mom had to buy a house for them. And they moved from California out to Arkansas. And my sister had a pain in her foot. Went down to the hospital, or the doctor. He said, "You got a little tumor there. We're going to cut it out. It's no big deal. We're going to check it, see if it's malignant." It was. Her next appointment, they cut her leg off underneath her right knee. And that bothered me. And then after that happened, she had a tumor come out of the top of her head, sarcoma cancer. They went in and took that out, stood her up, and they didn't get it all. She lost half the mobility on her right-hand side of her body or left. I can't remember which one. And she was trying to get a chemo port at that point. She had a prosthetic leg, this little hat. They went back in, took care of that. She gets out of the car at the chemo doctor with my brother-in-law, and she broke her femur in two. My sister's 30 years old. And she's the only one that would respect me, And at this point, I already investigated my mom a little bit. And I'm like, how did she get all this money? And she used to watch those shows where how you can murder your wife or husband. That's all uncensored on TV, man. We know. So, now I know, what I'm saying. My stepdad wanted to let his children know he had hereditary cancer problems. And I have a brother-in-law that has two kids from the same bloodline. And I like to let the man know that, what I'm saying. And he doesn't even care. And I called Water Valley yesterday. He goes, I had enough time of putting up with you. But I'll tell you what, I went back there to my mom's and I hitchhiked every fucking time from Colorado or California or Nevada. I hitchhiked all the fucking way and back. So nobody had any money. And I said, I don't need your money. And I had a good time. Smoked a lot of weed. I got off probation. You know what I'm saying? I had a good time. I didn't need anybody's money. That's why I'm an end timer. Okay. And I'll tell you what, my sister would let my brother-in-law talk like that. Yesterday he goes, well, I put up with you enough when my wife was alive. And it pissed me off. It did. I drove his ass to work and back for 2 weeks because he can't take care of his car. My mom bought him a house. My grandmother spent $4,300 on a Toyota 4Runner because it's higher off the ground. So he drives like an animal. My mom loaned the man a truck, like a 96 Chevy, or her boyfriend did, and he hit a tree, and it put the bumper back, stood the motor straight up and down out of the fucking underneath the hood. It did. He didn't get hurt. He fucks up everything at Water Valley. He used to, because he got a certificate being saying he's a machinist when he ain't. I ain't trying to put nobody down, man. My sister, lasted about 17 months and bites the dust. And that happened in 2015. And I rode a needle 4 years over. I didn't give a fuck about nothing, And I stayed out of trouble, in Colorado. I went to Colorado, right? And it's been a while. We just got out of homeless. I'm working for a feller. I'm never going to get paid any money. I hear about it. But, I'm not going to be able to live and be able to pay the rent at $15 an hour. It's not going to happen. The weather jumps up and down here in Nebraska and stuff, I'm helping him close out being a rancher, packing his stuff, take care of what few cows and stuff he has left. And I'm working on a trailer park, and I'm mechanicing on a truck today. So, I have skills. I'll post this to my sister's Facebook, man. And I want all you all to know. I'm still fucking breathing, man. So my brother-in-law had a $4,300 car. He said he's going to pay my grandma back. He never did. My grandmother bought him my mom bought him a $60,000 house on an acre in Bowden, Arkansas, town of 500 people in the Dixon housing tract. He had to have a fence put around that. So on top of the $60,000, he had two kids, my sister. He had to have that $4,000 fence he didn't take care of. I know it's falling over. I know the soil and stuff there. I know he don't take care of shit. That's $64,000, $4,300 4Runner. I went back there and put a transmission in his car. You know what I'm saying? I drove him to work and back 2 weeks. He did want to bitch about paying for gas. I said, I'm not driving from my mom's house all the way out there and sitting there all fucking day while you get off work. I said, have Bill Ray hire me. Nope. Fine. I'm still here. And I learned how to read. And I'm a conspiracy theorist. Went back before people knew shit. Okay, I know what's going to happen to us. It's about the money. You know what I'm saying? And life insurance, cancer policy, fraud money. My other sister, I forgot to mention Aurora. She's was told she was going to get my grandmother's house, and grandma kicked the bucket, right? And my mom fucked her over. So she went to Texas to go do drugs with some guy, is going to pay her to fuck her, to do drugs, and she won't talk to me. So and Neil doesn't want to talk to me. And my mom, I can't find her because she's off Facebook. And that's fine with me, man. Just man, I'm still here, man. And I laugh at all y'all, man, when you burn a lake of fire. Okay. That's what's going to happen to you. That was great. And all the shit you got. Nobody's even put a fucking flower one on my sister's grave, my stepdad's grave, or my grandmother's grave. Nobody's spent a fucking dime on that. Boy, when you need that money, they're over there, crying about how they can't get to work. My brother-in-law's got a house he didn't pay for. He's had several vehicles he never paid for. You know what I'm saying? He's a piece of shit. I'll pay for my shit. That's why I don't have shit. And just remember that for me. And my sister wouldn't talk to me that way. And you know what? I thought about it all night. I did. I said, you know what? I don't need a fucking thing from you. I live in fucking side. I want to make sure the man's okay. Now, I'll post this up on Water Valley's Facebook page, and I'll put it on my sister's page, and fuck you. Okay? That's exactly what I got to say to you. Fuck you. Because you ain't going to make it. And I know that. I'm out.